What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the 1894. I'm Dara. I've joined me here today. We're talking about Leeds. We battered them. We were absolutely class in that second half. I don't know what happened from the first half. I think he might have just got in and slapped someone. But that second half performance shows something to behold, wasn't it?
It was, but you got to talk about the first half first. Let's get the ugly bit out of the way. We were dire. We were shocking. Goal from a set piece. Pretty lucky that Leeds just can't defend. I said it in the preview, the defence is championship. They don't know how to do it. And, you know, the one thing that scared me was their pace on the break. Dan James didn't even play, so I don't know what I was worried about there. But, you know, the most threatening thing they did was throw paper at Jack Grealish. So, yeah, pretty easy. Pretty easy win, to be honest. We said it wasn't going to be this easy, considering, you know, last time we 7-0, we thought, oh, new manager bounce, you know, he's got them on a little bit of an unbeaten streak, 5-game unbeaten streak, and then they go and ship 4 with no reply. And again, pretty comfortable afternoon. Grealish had another good game again against Leeds. That again proves to you how good they are at defending. Really, they made him look good. I thought, again, all round there were a couple of negatives, of course. Because we seem to just be at this point in the season where everyone is just absolutely knackered, and the players that are playing kind of have to play. So, you know, you can't be too harsh on them because they are being thrown in every week. Players like Cancelo, we literally don't have anyone fit enough to play right back. Like, Ake has gone off limping. Like, is he injured again? If so, we genuinely have 4 fit defenders. It's worrying, but at the same time, clean sheet, especially after conceding 3 against Real Madrid, it'll only do good.
Exactly. I think we're going with a bit more confidence now. I don't care if it's Leeds. They still put up a little bit of a trek going forward, but I mean, they were not great. I think they kind of lost their heads maybe in the second half as well. They should have given away a penalty before Fernandinho spanked at home. But, you know, we'd said about the first half, it wasn't great. I think we were lucky to kind of go in 1-0 up because Cancelo had his little slip up as well that they really should have punished off. But I'm happy out. I thought the second half was like a Jekyll and Hyde performance. I thought the front 3 came out with a bit between their teeth as well. I thought they were a lot better. You know, again, having sub-pelted at you, it's usually hard to keep focus, but Grealish did that. I thought Grealish was very, very, very good today. And, you know, again, he just kind of got under the skin, didn't he?
Yeah, he proper wound them up every single time he went to take a corner or was in. Because he lined up in the left. Some people thought he'd be in midfield, but he was on the left. Every single time he went down that side, there was paper being thrown left, right and centre from all areas of the pitch. Like, again, he was smiling, he was laughing, he knew he'd got under their skin, he knew he had them rattled, and another good game. Does he maybe thrive on people, like, trying to snap him, trying to take pops at him? Does he thrive off of people having a go at him? Like, he seems to. I don't know what it is, but again, another good game without a goal or an assist as well. So, you know, when you don't contribute directly to a goal and you still have a good game, it means you must have done something pretty standout. Like you said in the preview that Luke Ayling was awful. He is awful. Jack Grealish got past him numerous times today. It was a sight to behold. I think there was one point where I was almost pulling my hair out where he'd got past him and he pulled one across the box. It was a really good move and a really good cross, but I saw it on the replay. Sterling and Jesus were jogging because they didn't expect him to get that far, but it's the Luke Ayling effect, I suppose, because he managed to get into the position. But I mean, you know, we've scored 4 with the front 3 of Gabriel Jesus, Raheem Sterling and Jack Grealish. Like, we've scored 4. I know Jesus was the only one of the front 3 that actually scored, but we've scored 4. Again, poor first half. I wasn't expecting us to go and put 3 past them in the second half. I was thinking, you know, just kind of hold on. Defensively as well, we have to put a word in. Defensively, multiple blocks, goal line clearances, you know, the stuff. We've sort of turned that around. It's surprising considering, you know, we did genuinely, that's the only defence that we have at the moment. But another clean sheet, got a bit of goal difference on Liverpool, which might prove to be nothing by the end of the season, but, you know, every little advantage that we can get, we have to take.
Exactly. And now, before we go into the player rounds, I want to have a little quick word about Paul Tierney. Is the worst fucking referee I've ever seen in my life, right? I can't even begin to tell you the amount of things he let go. I remember, I turned around about 10 minutes in, I was watching with my brother, and I turned to my brother, I goes, we've got a good few free kicks here. He's kind of leaning, maybe not leaning towards City, but he started off well in a hostile atmosphere. He fell to pieces as soon as I said that. I think I might be responsible. He was fucking dreadful, right? I don't understand how he lets it get to the point of people cropping left, right, and centre that someone has said, you know what, I'm going to try to break Grealish in half just to break himself in half. And look, condolences, fucking all that towards the defender. Shocking, horrible thing to have happened to you. And, you know, speedy recovery. But when you're setting the game down like that, when the referee is saying, yeah, you know, I'm going to let everything go, and they end up like that and they crack someone. Like, it was dangerous. It was reckless from the referee that he was letting all that go. I'm starting on my words now because I don't even know what else to say about him. He just couldn't get it on. He couldn't get that game under control. He folded. He always folds. It's not us who has a problem with him. So it's not just us, right? Plenty of people have said it for ages. He hates Liverpool as well. I know I don't usually defend jumping from the Liverpool. He is shocking in those matches. He's shocking in our matches. He was on the VAR. He's been on VAR for us loads of times and he's got stuff wrong. He's a fucking idiot, isn't he?
Yeah, I remember the picture that I saw a few City accounts using for the officials was him giving a yellow card to Laporte when we played Leicester away earlier on this season, where he wins a header against Vardy and Vardy goes down and he books him. Remember last season, Carabao Cup final, Ruben Diaz tackles Harry Kane and gets the ball and he gives him a yellow card on the stroke of half time. He has had an absolute shocker in multiple games, and Klopp has said before that he's the only referee that he has a real problem with. He's a shocking referee. I think him and John Moss are up there for... there should be an award for it, of how bad you can be. They are so bad. Shout out Anthony Taylor as well, Baldy. I don't know how again, I'm not one to defend our rivals because I hate doing it. I almost, like, I laugh when bad luck goes their way because I just find it funny because it helps us, and of course they do the same when it happens to us, and they're annoyed when we get the rub of the green. So are we when it happens to them. But Anthony Taylor against Chelsea, he hates them. There's so many referees that have biases and just fold under pressure. We've seen with Liverpool, they haven't given away a penalty in how long? They haven't had a man sent off in how long? Like, they just fold against Liverpool. They refuse to send people off. They refuse to give away penalties. Same thing for us as well. Like, sometimes we get lucky just because there's, something clearly going for us. Like, it's shocking. The standard of refereeing needs improving.
Yeah, again, it's not just against us. It's happened against everyone in the league. I think there's a lot of like you, there's a lot of big team bias. There's a lot of stuff go against the lower league. I mean, you turn around, you look, Everton have been done by a few decisions, even against us, Liverpool, plenty of our team. Everton have had a lot of things go their way. Could send them down, but I don't think it's going to send them down because I think we've just sent Leeds down. But we're going to go into it, right? Player ratings. I know we went off on a bit of a tangent there, but first off, Edison gets an 8. Purely because of the save he made. He made Joe shit himself a few times now, but other than that, was fine. Ake, he's so good. He's so good. He came off, but he got a 9. I think maybe if he had lasted the 90, I would have been pushing for a 10. Laporte, a 9. Man played with a concussion, and it was one of his better games of the year. Diaz, 8. Again, I think it was very good, just not as good as Laporte. Cancelo gets a 7 for his goal line clearance. I didn't rate him at all today. I thought he tried too many stupid flicks. Look, the slip happens. I'm not even taking the slip into account of him being shy. That happens. But I thought defensively he's fine. He's usually fine defensively. It was his passing. I thought he gave away the ball too many times. When he was on the ball, he was trying to flick it through people's legs, trying to do a big show pony thing. It didn't work, didn't it?
No, but you have to say, obviously, the defensive part of it was probably one of our better defensive performances of the season. We rolled out the first half. We managed to keep it tight at the back. Second half, again, same thing. Leeds kind of threatened a little bit. A couple of blocks, near the goal line, a few open goals, bodies on the line. A lot of bravery. I think it's encouraging to see a bit more of the older Ruben Diaz. He seems to have picked up a bit of sharpness now, started to get going after the absolute shocker he had against Real Madrid. He had an absolute nightmare. He just couldn't read the play at all. He just misjudged so many balls that were going in behind our defence, and Vinicius Jr. had a field day hitting him behind. I think today he dealt with it well. He seems to be getting back, and again, it's what we need with Ake picking up a knock, with Stones out, with Walker out. We just need players to stay fit at this point, and he was thrown in the deep end because he had to be thrown in the deep end. We had no other option but to play him. So we just had to get up to speed as quickly as possible. And he seems like he's finally got there. We're about to find out in midweek whether he carries on. I have full confidence that he will carry on. But, that's the real test, although we were put under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, exactly. But look, we're put under a bit of pressure by, like, they were half decent going forward, Leeds. They were put under a bit of pressure to, you know, get them reacclimatized. Again, there was no Stones. It was just Laporte and Diaz. Thought they were fantastic. That's it. Like, you have to be put under pressure if you're going to deal in the bigger games. Now, don't get me wrong, that was a huge game. But going into Madrid now, that's made my confidence go up even more. Seeing that they can handle the pressure and seeing that like, I know we usually we can turn around and say, oh, the togetherness is brilliant. But when Laporte made that block, I mean, it was getting shades of PSG at home again with the, you know, they're running around huddling, you know, just band of brothers, really. Going to the midfield, Rodri gets an iron. I'm going to stay in now. He's the best holding midfielder in the league. I think Fabinho's terrific, but he is the best holding midfielder in the league. He does it consistently all the time. Foden, play the man in midfield. He's a 10. He's always a 10 in midfield. He's outstanding. He's unbelievable. Who would have thought that the player who came through as a midfielder, his best position would be in midfield? Gundogan. We love Gundogan. I love Gundogan. Joe loves Gundogan. Gundogan, I don't know what the story with him is. He's definitely carrying something. I mean, that's the reason I'm pulling out. I think he's carrying something. I think there's been talks that he could be finished here at City. I hope he's not. But if he's carrying something, if it's serious enough, then, you know, maybe we are seeing the last one. But he was great on the recovery today. I thought, again, funny enough, I thought his defensive side was fine. It was just, he's lost it. Remember the killer instinct he had last year? I think he's kind of lost it for now, do you think?
For now, hopefully it doesn't stick around, because again, he could have had a couple himself. He was just so hesitant. He miskicked it a couple times. I think today he was playing a lot deeper as well. It was almost a double pivot, really, if you look at it, especially in the first half. We just kind of sat there and went, let's just ride it out until the second half, until we can get in at half time. I think Rodri, again, he's one of our players of the season. Wouldn't be my pick now, personally, but he's definitely up there. He's shown a side of consistency to his game. He's come up with crucial goals. First goal today, obviously, the famous winner against Arsenal at the Emirates. What a time. So, again, he's a threat. He's a threat from set pieces. Like, we have such a small team. Our team is so short. Like, this, the price you pay for having technically gifted players across the pitch is just not having the height to deal with the teams like a Leeds, like a Burnley, who have a bit more size and will try and, you know, hit set pieces, like a Wolves. So, you know, he's crucial. And again, he pops up with another goal from a set piece. And again, he's showing the consistency that we wanted to see from him. I know you, up until this season, you haven't been his biggest fan. You hold your hands up. You admit you're wrong. You admit that he's got one of the hardest roles in this team, and he's turned it around. Obviously, question marks as to who's going to be behind him, who's going to be challenging for his spot next season. You know, will he fold under the pressure of someone else coming in, or will he just rise to a new level? Obviously, we'll wait and find out what happens with that, but you know, again, Foden, we called this ages ago. We did a video on his future and said the man's a midfielder.
Watch it.
And watch it, please. I beg you. Go and find it, please. We said that he's a midfielder. Your future is a midfielder. He's so good in the midfield role, and it's just obviously just too difficult for him to get in because of my player of the season playing there. And also Kevin De Bruyne just so happening to have picked up form and playing there. So it's just so difficult for him to get in. Like, he just can't get in that spot where he's just so good in the midfield because we've got too many players there. I think if Bernardo Silva still wants out at the end of the season, who knows? But if he does leave, I wouldn't sign a replacement. I would play Foden in his role. I think Foden brings the energy, that maybe not as much energy, but he still brings energy and the press that Bernardo Silva would provide. And he's got the technical quality, so he would be my replacement if Bernardo Silva does choose to leave. But I don't see him really playing in the midfield again this season.
No, but I'd like to see, I definitely agree with you. I wouldn't sign a replacement either. I'd just get the backup DM's capability of sitting in that role. And look, I think Foden's just great. Wherever you put him, he's great, but that is his position. That guy is nice. I'm not going to drone on about the front three because I thought they were all great. Again, we've given them all 8s. I think you can go into it if you want, but I just thought they were all really, really good. Obviously, Jesus got the goal. I actually kind of forgot Jesus got the goal. I think we could end up pushing it. We could end up pushing it to 9 if at all possible, because I thought that was pressure. Again, like, everyone's pressing was great, but that man's pressing from the front. He really doesn't want to go to Arsenal. Like,
That man will do anything but to leave this football club to a team like Arsenal or like Tottenham or like wherever. The man just wants to stay. I am like, he could prove me wrong, but I am still convinced that he's fooling absolutely everyone. He does this every year. He does this.
I'm with you, bro. Just be clear, I'm with you.
He does this every year. He'll start strong, he'll go missing in the busiest part of the season, and then he'll end strong as well. That's just a cycle of Gabriel Jesus. Now, again, granted, he's scored against Madrid, he scored against Liverpool, big game player, you can say that, but when we need him most, when the squad wears thin during the winter period, and when we've got the most games of the season, we need him to be performing, and he didn't do that this season. He hasn't really done it at all. Like, I still think he's fooling a lot of people with these performances. Of course, like, I'm happy he's playing well and he can prove me wrong, but the reason why we want to sell him in the first place is because of his consistency. Like, he's had, 3-4 good games. There's a little bit of consistency, but he went about 3-4 months without consistency. So, it's heads or tails, like, it's flip of a coin. What do you want? Do you want him to, like, start strong and end strong and have a dodgy in between, or do you just want him to move on, get a bit of cash, give someone like Alvarez a chance next season? I'm still of that mindset. I think his cycle's done. I don't know, he's not consistent enough for me, but I mean, while he's playing well, he gets in the team, doesn't he? So I think that's self-explanatory. Same thing with the likes of Sterling as well. His future's a little bit undecided. I think today, story of the season, Jesus Christ, he can't finish his dinner, man. He can't finish at all. He probably should have had a hat-trick, should have won a penalty, doesn't matter. Fernandinho blasts it in anyway. But, like, everything else to his game was so good. So good. He was taking men on, he was running at him, putting balls across the box. He was so good at everything. Just his finishing, just his end product just wasn't good enough. I'd say the similar thing about Grealish. He pressed well, kept hold of the ball well, won a load of fouls, should have won more, but we've touched on the ref. But, end product, again, just had a couple of opportunities. I think he snatched one wide in the second half, and it was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I think that was at 1 or 2-0 as well. That's when I was still saying, like, we need another goal. But I do think, overall, on balance, everyone was great. I think, again, Jesus, he's showing up. I think for now, when we need him to show up, he is showing up. That's all I care about, to be honest with you. At this present time, I'm sure, look, someone's going to have to leave. I think it's going to be him, but we're going to be fine. Anyway, we'll leave it there. We're going to be back from Madrid. Thanks very much for watching. Luke Adams, Shite and Leeds are going down. Good night.